so you'll be fine. Just find a place that is safe for you to practice and move. And let's start this practice on our knees in what we call child's pose. So the big toes will be touching. Your knees will be wider than your hips, perhaps as wide as your mat. And then I invite you to just take a moment to stop here and to sit on your heels, close your eyes, rest your palms on your lap, and then just feel whatever there is to feel. Welcome it inside. Welcome the weight of your upper body to drop onto your heels and the weight of your entire body to drop into the ground. And then perhaps you'll start to notice some kind of tension around the shoulders, which might be weight you've been carrying all day. Let it go. And let's just all take a deep breath in through the nostrils. Open your mouth and sigh out. Let's do that again 2 times. Take a moment to notice the effect of those cleansing breaths on your physical self, but also on your mind. And then from here, let's slowly fold our body forward, extend the arms overhead, and rest your forehead onto the ground. Reach out through your fingertips, press your palms firmly into the mat, and just feel your elbows slightly lifted, your armpits gently lifted as well, and your belly rising and falling in between your thighs. You might want to rock your forehead side to side. And as you are rocking, just imagine that you are kind of swaying, cradling your thoughts, which might be a bit more agitated today. So just let them quiet down. Let them come to rest peacefully. And again, for 3 repetitions, inhale through your nostrils and open your mouth and sigh out. For 2. And 1. Just notice how your body is dropping as you're breathing out, and how it's elongating, expanding as you breathe in. Which means that you have the power to change the shape of your body with your breath. 1 more breath. Inhale to expand and exhale to retract. On your next breath in, rise up onto all fours, knees underneath your hips and hands somewhere underneath your shoulders where it feels okay for your wrists. Breathe in to reach the crown of the head and the tailbone up, expanding the front of the body. And then breathe out to round your back like a mad cat. Press into your hands, relax your head. Just keep repeating that for a few more cycles. Again, connecting with the kind of energy that runs through your in-breath and the kind of energy that runs through your out-breath. And as you're moving, perhaps you'll start to pinpoint some tensions around the shoulders or the neck, or along the line of your belly. Last cycle. Now come back to neutral, what feels like neutral, and spin your fingers back so they're pointing towards your toes. The further away from your knees, your hands, the more intense it'll be in your wrists. So you're welcome to walk your hands closer to your knees at any moment. And then again, spread your fingers wide, keep your elbows slightly bent, and then breathe in to arch your spine again. And breathe out to round your back. And then just notice how different it feels. It might be almost, so uncomfortable that it's close to the edge of the pain. But just make sure that you don't allow any pain in this movement. one more cycle. Keep reminding you here that everything is impermanent, that eventually everything will come back to normal as you're gonna move your fingertips forward. Keeping the hips stacked above your knees, start to walk your hands as far forward as you can go to create 2 long lines running from your fingertips all the way to your hips. Reach the forehead down, let it soften. And then notice if you're collapsing here in your joints, and think about pushing the floor away with your forehead, with your hands, and with both of your knees. They call this the puppy pose, Shishalasana. Lift the elbows, lift the armpits. Let's take one more breath to lengthen the spine. And breathe out to feel the belly gently rising up into the spine. It is a beautiful way to open up the shoulders, probably after a day at school with your arms down or in front of you. And then as you're going to breathe in next, lift your head round your back and roll forward. So the hips comes to the floor. Now you want to move your elbows underneath your shoulders, and both of your forearms will be parallel all the way to your fingertips. They call this the Sphinx Pose, like in Egypt. And then pull the mat back, open the collarbones, and think about transferring the weight that is in your belly down towards your pubic symphysis. Now lift your legs. The pubic symphysis is the bone you can feel at the front of your hips. And then lift your legs one at a time. Reach through your toes to elongate them. And then press firmly the top of the feet down. If you experience some sort of deep compression in the lower back, think about breathing out a bit more to lift the skin of the belly into the skin of the back. Let's just take one last deep breath. And as you're going to breathe out, open up your elbows and stack your hands to rest your forehead on top. And start to wiggle your pelvis side to side, allowing the flesh to move away from the bone, to detach away from the bone. Good. And once you feel a bit more relaxed around the lower back, then rest your forehead on the floor and open your arms in a cactus shape, which means that your elbows are in line with your shoulders, but your fingertips are pointing in the same direction as your head. So your elbows are bent 90 degrees. Top of the feet down. Breathe in to lift your face and your chest off the floor. Keep your forearms down. And then breathe out to release. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release. Now watch your neck. Make sure that you're not crunching it back. And try to keep it as long as your throat. And perhaps even keeping the gaze down the bridge of your nose, which is pointing down towards the earth. Last time. Lift up. Now lift your arms up as well. And as you're going to breathe out, squeeze your elbows back. Now breathe in to lengthen the arms overhead. Breathe out to squeeze. Let's do that 3 more times. Ooh, can you start to feel that in your back? I hope so. Reaching and squeezing. Last time. And squeeze. Plant your palms on either side of your low ribs. Squeeze the elbows back. Now inhale to lift. Push into your hands as high as it feels comfortable to go. Exhale to release. Down to the floor. And again, up as you breathe in. Down as you breathe out. Breathe out. And make sure that the shoulders stay away from the ears. 2. And 1. Now exhale to lower the forehead down. As you're going to breathe in next, push the floor away and come up to a plank on your knees. Up, breathe in. And then exhale to lower, bend the elbows all the way down for 4. And you're like, I didn't sign up for push-ups. Yes, you did, because that's part of yoga. For 3, tiny baby push-ups. For 2. You can do it. I'm sure you can do it. Last one. There you go. Up and down. Now come up on your knees. Tuck your toes under. Push your heels back to lift your knees. Plank. Push the floor away here. Round your back just a little bit so you feel your front body hollowing. Look forward. That's the only way you're gonna get to one place. That's the only way you're gonna keep growing. And then as you're gonna breathe out, lift that pelvis up and back, downward facing dog. Now you can walk your feet, one heel at a time. Relax the weight of your head fully. Shake it off. And perhaps you didn't know that, but the weight of your head is equal to a big bowling ball. So that's kind of heavy for the muscles of the neck and the spine. So try to keep it really heavy here, hanging in between the arms. Stop pedaling the feet and then breathe in to lift your heels. Come onto the very, very tip of your toes and exhale to push both of your heels down at the same time. They might not touch the floor and that's okay. Let's do that 4 more times. Inhale to lift, energizing the legs. Exhale to drop for 3. 2. What about your head? Is it still heavy, hanging? And 1. Now again, lift and come onto the ball of your toes. Lock your knees and start to walk your feet forward as if you were wearing the highest high heels ever. And try to not bend your knees as you're stepping closer and closer to your hands. Oh boy. Feet hip-width distance apart. Bend your knees, rest your belly against your thighs. And come and hold on to the opposite elbows above your head. Just allow yourself to sway here. Pull onto the elbows to feel the armpits lengthening. Just let anything that might appears to you as a weight to carry, let it drop off your shoulders. Let it fall to the ground. Relax your fingertips to the floor. Just take a moment here, making sure that your feet are well anchored into the mat. And then start to unroll your spine as you're going to breathe in. 1 vertebra at a time. There are 5 lumbars, 12 thoracics, 7 cervical, and then the head comes on top. Roll your shoulders up and back a few times. All right, and then hands to your heart. This is called prayer mudra, but this is not spiritual. This is not like spiritual or anything. It just means that you're unifying both of your sides. You're unifying your opposites. And then from here, interlock your fingers. Push your palms forward and up, breathe in. As you breathe out, rolling the chest to the left, letting the right side open. Inhale to come up, and then exhale to the right to open up the left side. Let's do that again. Inhale to center, exhale to the left, inhale to center, exhale to the right. Back up, breathe in, exhale, release the arms. Breathe in to sweep your arms forward, palms together in front of your heart, and then keep lifting up, following your thumbs with your gaze. Exhale to fold, open your arms wide, release the spine. Half back, hands onto your shins, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, fingertips to the floor. Take a giant step with your left foot back. Lower the left knee and come and rise up, hands onto your right thigh. You might have the top of your left foot down or your toes tucked under. It's up to you. Now push the skin of your right thigh forward and at the same time, move your right hip back. There's a little bit of roundness in your belly here. As you're gonna breathe in, palms together in front of your heart, and then start to lift your gaze and your fingers up to the sky. And if it feels okay for your back, keep moving back. But stop whenever you feel like you're stuck, come to an uneasy place. Anjaneyasana. And then let's breathe out. Come back to center, hands to your heart, elbows open, twist. Left elbow on top of your knee or outside of it. Push into your hands, grow taller as you breathe in. And then to add a little bit of a challenge, tuck your back toes under and lift your left knee. Keep your hips low. Yeah, take one more breath in here. And then release the twist, fingertips to the floor. Take a leap of faith and lift that left leg up, coming to a warrior 3. Press the floor away with your right foot. Push through your left heel. And then see if you can bring maybe the right hand to your heart. And then the left hand to your heart. Find your balance. You might fall. It's part of the process. Falling doesn't equal failing. It just means that you're learning. And then fingers to the floor, both feet together at the top of the mat. Ukutasana, let it all go. You might want to sway again side to side. Deep exhalations to release anything that doesn't serve you anymore. And then relax the fingertips, unroll your spine. Roll the shoulders up and back. And again, bring your palms together just to reconnect with your center, to feel aligned. Interlock the fingers the weird way, the way you didn't do the first time. And then push your palms forward and up. Breathe in. Exhale to the right to open up the left side first. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. And then let's just do that again one more time. Each side, press firmly into your feet. These are your roots, your connection to the earth. And as you breathe out, relax the arms by your sides. Just feel the energy, maybe a tingling or a warmth through your hands. Breathe in, palms together all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Breathe out, fold up and over your hips. Halfway up, breathe in. And then fingertips to the floor, right leg all the way back, right knee to the mat. Scissoring your thighs like you want to close a pair of scissors and then come up. Push the flesh of your left knee forward and then try to reach that left hip back. There's a little bit of roundness happening in the low belly, in the upper part of your abs. And then from here, palms together and start to lift, following your thumbs with your eyes. Go as far as you want to go, as long as it feels good. And remember, this practice is for you, nobody else, especially not your ego. And then exhale, hands to your heart, elbows open, twist to the left. Elbow onto the thigh or outside of it. Press your hands firmly. Inhale to grow taller. Exhale to dig a little deeper. Now toes into the mat, lift the right knee up. Try to keep your pelvis low so you don't want to come all the way up here. Stay low. If it burns a little bit in the thigh, you're there. Expirez, bout des doigts au sol. Fingertips to the mat. Inhale to lift the right leg up. A little bit of French here. Push your heel back, square off your hips. And then perhaps bring the left thumb to your sternum. Perhaps bring the right thumb to the sternum and try to find your balance here on that left leg, which is strong and steady. Fingers to the mat, right foot down, Uttanasana, let it all go, folding forward. Deep breath in through the nose, full breath out through your mouth. Start to unroll your spine when you're ready. No rush. Coming up to standing. Good. And let's start to bounce a little bit. So you might want to come a bit more onto the ball of your toes. Relax your wrist, shake your hands, and then just bounce. Close your eyes, bounce. For about a minute, you might want to jump a little bit. And this is amazing. Even though it looks a little silly, this is so good for your body because you're shaking up your lymphatic system, which helps you to feel better, to fight the viruses. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So shake it off. Shake, shake, shake. Maybe a little faster. For 5, 4, 3, shake your hips, 2, and 1, come to stillness. Close your eyes and feel. Perhaps that tingling in your fingertips, the warmth in your calves, in your ankles and feet. Slow down your breath consciously. And then let's sit in a chair. So your feet will be together or hip width distance apart. But for sure, the outer edges of the feet are parallel. And then you start to sit. And you sit as low as you can without hiding your toes with your knees. So push your shin bones back. And see if you can even touch the floor with the fingertips. As you're going to breathe in, sweep your arms forward, palms to touch in front of your heart, and then keep lifting. And you stop whenever you feel like, ooh, it's locked. It doesn't move anymore. So chair, Ukutasana. Perhaps you look up to your thumbs. Exhale to lower your pelvis a little bit more. And then let's inhale to push yourself up, lengthen, and exhale to dive. Uttanasana. Breathe in, come up halfway. And then fingertips to the floor, shoot that left leg back. Keep it up like you did in your Warrior 3. Now bend your right knee and step your left foot behind you. The heel is on the floor, right knee is bent. Reach the arms back and lift your chest about halfway up. Push the right hip back, left hip forward. For Warrior 1, start to sweep your hands forward. They meet in front of your heart. And then just keep reaching up and perhaps gazing up all the way to your thumbs. And basically, it's as if your hands were the projection of your heart center into the sky, all around you. Take one more deep breath in here. And as you're going to breathe out, sweep your arms out, palms down, push back, plank. Adjust your feet and your hands. Press your heels back, look forward, the only way you want to go. And then exhale to lower the knees, the chest down. Roll the shoulders back, top of the feet down, up into Cobra. And then let's tuck the toes under, lift the pelvis, move up and back, downward facing dog. Release the weight of your head. Let it all go. Shake it off if you need. For one of my favorite yoga posture, the scorpion dog or dirty dog. So it's a little bit like a dog who's peeing on a fire hydrant. Lift your right leg up and squeeze your right heel to the left sit bone and really squeeze it. Reach your right knee up so it's the highest point of this posture. Now, if you want to, push into your right hand and lower your left elbow to the floor. Give it a try. Good. And if you fall, that's okay. You're learning. Awesome. I wish I can see you guys. And then inhale, lift up the elbow. Bring the right knee into your chest. Exhale and step your right foot forward. Fingertips to the front of your mat. Lift that left leg again. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale, both feet together. Right away, sit in your chair. Fingertips on the floor. Breathe in to sweep your arms forward and up. Ukutasana. Ooh, is it burning a little bit? Because my thighs are burning a lot. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to dive. Half back. Breathe in. Swing that right leg back now. Coming into Warrior 3 with your fingertips light on the floor. Now bend the left knee and step your toes and your right heel down. Arms back, lift your chest, strong legs, strong foundations. And then start to sweep the arms forward, palms meet in front of your heart, and lift all the way up. And then follow the thumbs with your gaze. Keep your shoulders down and away from your ears. Keep bending that left knee, pressing the right heel down. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior. Can you feel the strength, the power of the warrior inside of you? And then exhale to release your arms, palms down, push back plank. Exhale, knees and chest down with control. Roll back, breathing into cobra, shoulders away from the ears, and then downward facing dog. Head is heavy, hips are light. Push the floor away with your hands. You're way stronger than you think. Keep reminding yourself that. Now lift the left leg up for the dirty dog. Bend the knee and squeeze the left sit bone to the right heel. And then try to keep reaching that left knee up as you're going to lower the right elbow down. This is a challenge. And perhaps it's bringing you out of your comfort zone. But if you don't feel confident enough, you don't have to do it. No worries. And then let's reach that right elbow back up. Exhale, left knee to the chest. Step the left foot forward. Fingertips forward. Lift the right leg up. Breathe in. And then exhale right away into chair. Both feet together. Sweep up. Inhale. Exhale, sit. All the way up. Breathe in. And then last time here, dive. Take your time to fold forward. Half back. Inhale. And then bend your knees. Glue the thighs to your chest. And come to sit your hips behind your heels. Now hold on to your knees. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. And then start to unroll your spine for 10. Reach the arms forward for 9. Keep your feet glued to the floor as long as you can for 7. 6. Keep the feet down. If the big toes wants to lift, glue them with super glue, invisible super glue. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Bend your elbows 90 degrees and hug them against your rib cage. The fingertips are pointing forward. Slide your heels as close as you can to your pelvis and keep your knees as wide as your hips. On your next breath in, start to lift your hips up into the sky. We call this the bridge pose. And then breathe out to lower. Again, inhale to lift. Push in the elbows and the feet. Exhale to release. And then if everything goes well, then on your next in-breath, lift your pelvis. Lift your right arm overhead and turn your gaze to the left. And then lower everything. Now lift your pelvis, lift the left arm overhead, look to the right, and lower. And this can become a bit more fluid as you're reaching and rolling onto the left shoulder and then onto the right. I'm losing my mic. You can keep doing that. Perhaps trying to touch the floor above your head, like the opposite side of the floor with the opposite hand. And then make sure that you do that evenly. One more time, both sides. And then come back to center. Allow your spine to release onto the floor. It's all of its weight. And then walk your feet wide as your mat, knees together. Open your arms super wide. Just stay here for a moment. No effort whatsoever in the entire body. Stay connected to the breath. Notice how it's reshaping the body constantly. Expansion on the in-breath. Retraction and relaxation on the out-breath. Allow your knees to separate and then just move them side to side like windshield wipers. And can you move here so mindfully that the movement itself will slow down? Very, very mindful windshield wipers. You don't want to miss a drop of rain on your invisible windshield. And if it feels good to stay a little longer onto one side, why not? Just stay. Let your body become heavier and heavier and heavier. Allow yourself to drop as you breathe out, and to cultivate this state of slowness, of relaxation. Make sure that you stop on both sides eventually. Back up and into the chest. Hold them in tightly with your arms and give yourself the hug you've been desiring for so long. The hug you're craving for. Hug your knees the same way you would hug someone that you haven't seen in a while, someone that you're missing a lot. When you're ready, let go of that hug. Let it spread around you. Extend your legs, extend your arms. For Shavasana. Shavasana means corpse pose. And it's not a sad or a bad thing at all. It just means the end of a cycle. Because everything has to come to an end eventually. Practicing Shavasana just help us to become a bit more comfortable with letting go. To become a bit more open, a little less rigid to the change around us. And can you be here now with yourself and only yourself? Moment of stillness, which is a huge proof of love, of self-love. To allow all of your attention to yourself is an act of radical love. Allow yourself to sink in deeper. Release your grip. Release what you're holding on to. Free yourself. And by all means, if you want to stay here a little longer, if you're really comfortable, then stay. And otherwise, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, to roll your ankles and your wrists in all directions, and bend the knees and the elbows. Fold at the hips so the knees are coming to the chest. And then roll onto one side, like a little baby, like a fetus. And if Shavasana, corpse pose, means the end of a cycle, then fetal posture on your side means the beginning of a new cycle. a new opportunity, a renewal. And then you can push with the top hand and gently rise up to come to seated. And if it feels okay for you to do so, then just bring your hands together on your heart. It could be in a prayer fashion, or you could have one hand resting on top of the other. Just make yourself the promise to give you all the love you can, and to nurture and cultivate that self-love, because you are beautiful inside out. You are important. You are loved. You are heard. You are you. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. And I hope I'll see you all next week. Namaste.